In this tutorial, I'm going to go over the shaping tools in Adobe Illustrator. So similar to the other tools, I'm going to click and tear out my palette, and you'll see you have a variety of tools here. Now, as a little caveat, these tools work best when you have like a drawing tablet plugged in. They're more for your drawing features. You can also use them with a mouse, but you have a little more precision with pressure point software that's usually attached to drawing tablets. But you can also use these if you do a live trace of an object and you get a lot of points in it and you want to kind of clean up the points so that it doesn't look quite so jagged. So for example, with the shaper tool itself, I can sit and draw, and as you can see, I'm just drawing this with a mouse, but it creates a path for me. It creates an object. I can manipulate that object in any way that I want. But if I'm doing something that's a little more of a custom shape, it's going to guess or try to match that to a common shape. I just created kind of a wonky sort of shape. But when you're creating your shapes, it's important that you kind of cross over where you started at so that it closes the path, and that's how the shape gets created. And if you don't cross over the path, then it doesn't create the shape. Like so. Now I can manipulate this further. So let's click on my direct select tool so that I get my points up. And you can see that with my pencil tool, I can create shapes. But it's going to be more about what you draw, whereas the shaper tool is going to try and match it to what other shape that you're trying to draw. So for example, with the triangle, if I just draw something really rough, see how that's a rough looking triangle, it's going to automatically match it to a 3-point triangle. If I try to draw something abstract, it's either not going to complete it or it's going to match it to the closest shape it can find. But with the pen tool, as we were saying earlier, it's going to match it a little bit more to the shape that you actually draw, which is where pressure sensitive software kind of comes in handy at that point. And you can see that we have a lot of points on here. So I can clean that up, and let's scale this a little bit bigger so you can see it. All the nodes that I have on it. You can see all the points that we have. That's where some of these other tools come in. So for example, the smooth tool, if I want to kind of eliminate points from my shape, I click on the smooth tool, and if I just brush over a point, it will delete and try to smooth this object out even further for you. And it does that by either calculating that to remove the point would make it smoother, and you can already see that it's getting more like an egg shape, or it'll add points. I can also erase points by just using my eraser tool and dragging over points, and you can see how it breaks open the path at this point. So when I erase a point, it's going to create new paths for me. And then with the join tool, when you draw over where open points are, you can see that it closes the path back up and makes a complete path. So the joiner tool will then join the path so that you can actually now fill it with objects and shapes. And this is how we use the smoothing tools and the shaper tools in Adobe Illustrator.